Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. It is me and Dot Dot this morning. Hi, dudes. You ready for some more detective work? Hope you guys are doing great. Everything kind of went to shit in this game yesterday. Did not go well, gonna be honest. We are currently on the island trying to find a sniper, so let's go ahead and jump back into Disco Elysium. And let me turn down my speakers. Holy crap. Oh, come on, you were just... There we go. Streamlabs, you were about to make me mad. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Alright, we need to look at these two things right here. We looked at everything else. We started this back up. We fixed the generator already. Let's check out the books, whatnot. Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized. See what's in them. Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures. Popular depictions of man versus nature by amateur naturalists T and T Harpin, husband and wife. Widely read by people from all walks of life. Who doesn't like nature? Who doesn't want to survive? Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp, light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders. Someone's made themselves a home. The lieutenant inspects a softcover. Hey, sub. I didn't know you were this far. Yes. Yeah, yesterday was when everything went to hell with the standoff. It did not go great, and I got shot twice. And now we are trying to find the sniper over on the island. Does anything stand out as unusual? Conceptualization 5, and it's still at 17%? Really? We do have 2 points, right? Yeah. It's a white check. We can redo it. We'll go ahead and try. I didn't think so. Not that you can tell. This is a digest of someone who's dead bored. Most of it is for entertainment purposes, fittingly right next to the radiola on the floor. Nothing? Nothing out of the ordinary? Maybe it's a little old-fashioned. There's a nude mag? More than that, you can't say. The print in some of these is pretty small, though. This person has good eyesight. Oh! Sniper would have good eyesight. Okay. We might check that again. Let's see what we got over here. There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of softcover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out Karakul blanket. Someone has been squatting here. The lieutenant inspects the bed. The linen is fresh, recently washed. You think whoever slept here is... You force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak. You know, officer, he looks at you with a touch of concern. You can rest here if you're feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead. No time to rest now. Yes, any time. If you need a rest later, it's okay by me. You don't have to be a hero. Yes, I do. I have to be a hero. Been shot. What else am I gonna do? Oh, wait. Your damaged physique has... Oh, it's an actual task. Oh. Huh. I wonder if that's going to be a requirement to push the story forward at some point. I want to finish looking around here first. See what we got in here. Oh, damn morale. I need health. I've only got 3 left. 2 morales. I can take so much morale damage right now. You'll lurk for now? Okay, thanks for the lurk, sub. Thanks for hanging out. This great blast door must weigh over 10 tons. Guessing we can't move it. Unless it's connected to this generator? You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one, a heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small. How do we open this? He looks at the door, then at its bigger brother, then at the lock. Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open? He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door. Ah. You're right. We opened the big one. Do you see the controls anywhere? I think there's a console just southeast. He shuffles his feet to stay warm. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan. Southeast. So over here? Ah, this. Yeah, it looks like the cables are running down to this. Okay. First! Sorry, Mia, you weren't first. Good try, though. Good try. This is jammed shut. Water rushes below, far down below. Let's not fall down the thing we can't open. But it's great to have you here regardless, even if you weren't first. You were first in your dreams, that's true. But you're always first in your dreams. I would hope. Green paint flakes off the monoblock aluminum cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard. Oh, what is this then? The console of an antique computation device. The lieutenant points to the wires running into the machine. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. They terminate here. This open the blast door? I think yes. Let's see. He points to the emergency dial switch. That one, the emergency open. Let's do it. Oh, wait. I don't know. This might... This could reveal like a hidden room, like we've done with our flashlight before, but it may also make us visible from outside of the building, like make it obvious that someone's here. I think we'll just start with the door. The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in. Hell yeah, look at that big guy. Good morning, Ulifar. How's it going? Welcome, sir. Got the Danish contingent here. Morning? Yes, sir, you heard. Not my fault you're in the future. Sudden wave of anxiety makes your skin crawl. That's not good. After you, the lieutenant gestures at the opening. But I got shot. You go first. I'm scared. What's there? I don't know. A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again. Let's go. I'm not scared. We're gonna... Ooh. Something hidden in the floorboard? Morale again? Give me some health, bro. Ooh, Ulifar. Ooh. That's some fine typing, Mia. See what's out here first. Because I think you couldn't go very far out here. I think it was just a little balcony. Huh? No, wait! Don't walk all the way around. Hold up. Firing slit. You can't see inside. Okay. Wait. This. Hold up. Look. Must have been a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. How? Where are we? Okay, we can't walk on the left side at all. We can go around this way. I don't know if I want to do that yet, though. Go back inside. We have three different doors? Or is... Oh, this is the upstairs door. Okay, so we have that... Oh, this is still inside then. Okay. Yeah, let's look around and... Oh, does that lead outside? Let's see where this goes. Maybe it goes down? Further into the bunker? No, it is outside. Okay, I want to do that last. Because that one you actually had to have like fuel and everything to get the generator running. That's like the harder thing to do. And this door was already open, so I want to go over here. I have a feeling this is just going to be the cliffside, and then that way is down on the beach. Maybe this way is where the sniper was. Go around. Yeah, this is down on the front beach. You keep going? Okay, you can go out pretty far. Alright, so it looks like we can go up the beach here. But there was something up on the roof. This thing. Yeah, what's this? That. Pain in your pelvis makes you wince. Then you continue. A dick! Oh, I got shot in the leg. The inside of the fortress, you make out the console and the blast door. Okay, it's just a hole in the wall. I got accepted as EMS on that 5M server you, Martin, Tector, and Ian are playing on? What's 5M? Is that a game? Okay, so here's our... This might be where... No, maybe. Weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol. An old medicine cabinet newly stocked with Drumamine. Yes! Hot damn. That's what I needed. Is this another bed? Yeah, a mattress nest. It is a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall. B triple prime, the lieutenant lowers his voice, stepping closer with his hand on his gun. This looks like a good place to shoot from. Inspect the mattress. A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use, brand name Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns, and an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter, the brand Mutiri. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Druin, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grodd. Mutiri is favored by older men for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar. Like the ones we found at Land's End, remember? I may have been wrong when I said it was unimportant. He stares into the can for a second. This means the same person could have visited both locations. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside, though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot. Inspect the wall. There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window. Touch the concrete first? Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain. It's a mod to GTA 5 just for some role-playing. Oh, okay. That sounds fun. Glad you guys are enjoying it. Look through the hole in the concrete. Does this face the inn? Springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. A small piece of the Martinaise coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar. Ruins! That was for me. The left? A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside Apartments, Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B. On the right? The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the Whirling in Rags, Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10. The doomed commercial area, and between the two... The box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling in Rags, its sloped roof. A tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop, sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room. Motherfucker. What does that mean? Do you have a line of sight to the window? Yes, there's an opening between 33A and 10. I can see to the roof. I can see it, he nods, through the scope of a rifle. The shooter would be prone, lying on the mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure. Cheek against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger. On a calm day like this, I could make it. I could make the shot. Good. He pats you on the back, 3 small pats in a row. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest. Affirmative. We found it, guys. Holy crap. Yeah, I guess better late than never. Everything already kind of went to shit. Why didn't we come here before? Because we didn't have a boat, dumbass. Booyah! Master cop work. Better late than never. He nods. Nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere. 6 people are dead. I don't care. I can fix my morale a billion times over. Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands or get them drunk. He looks north, over the fortification, then adds, we will make up for it. Here. I feel it. Could the shooters still be... here? Where? He looks behind his back. Right here. Point at the... I don't know. On this island. He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more and says... He feels uncomfortable suddenly. We should move, now. Dude, I'm getting creeped out. Free gas? Free gas. Can sell that for a ton of money. Shit, man, we found the sniper nest. Dude, I'm gonna lose it if we are the sniper. And I've been tracking myself this entire time. I'm gonna freaking lose it. Alright, let's check out this way. Oh good, we got another point. That's awesome. And we got that to sell. Am I happy with what I'm wearing? Oh, yeah. Definitely... no. I don't want those glasses. This one. Those are the ones. That's fine. Do I have better pants? I don't want that. We didn't find many kinds of pants. Yeah, don't like that either. Alright. Now that we have 3 points, sorry for all the back and forth, I didn't realize we got a point until just now. I want to go back and try that white check with the books and see if there's anything interesting there. What did we need? Conceptualization? Yes. Wow, you can upgrade this a lot. Actually, you can upgrade all of these a lot. %, still pretty low. Yeah, gross. Alright, one more. I'd rather not use 2 points on this if I can avoid it. Hopefully this one will work. Damn. We suck, man. Alright. Maybe come back to it later. Maybe we'll get another point, and then I won't feel as bad spending 2. I don't even really want to spend 2. Where's Daisy? We need Daisy luck, but she's not here. Can I go this way? No, only this way. Is that a raft from the kids? A rubber dinghy, it's deflated, broken. I think this is what the kids would come over with. Small white flowers blossom all around you. Oh no. Are those the... Dude, it is us, isn't it? Wait, what? Maybe it's not us? Whoa. The deserter. An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth and spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp. Sorry for disturbing you. Goodbye. Case is over. This seems prudent. I need you to put that gun down, that gun, so we can talk further. We're with the police. The lieutenant pulls his pistol from the holster.
You're a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before an enemy commander of corresponding rank.
I am an enemy commander of rank. Put it down. God damn it. It's a good line, but your voice slips on commander, producing a little squeak. Sounds like you're afraid.
A big-time operator of the pederast army. How about I keep it up? Hand it over to a real killer. A briscade.
The lieutenant aims his pistol square at the man's forehead.
Put it down now, sir.
Or you're going to blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
The old man lays the rifle down, carelessly, then looks at it lying there. Like an amputated limb in the sand. God, I love the writing in this game. You've been using this gun for? No reply. His leg twitches. You went in too fast, overeager. Son of a bitch. Who are you? My name, he looks across the water, then back at you, is Iosef Lilianovich Dros, political commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I'm a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender. His eyes turn to the reeds again, dead and dull. The Commune of Revachol. The lieutenant forgets to close his mouth. Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the Army of the Revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in '07, trained in the École de Contrôle Aérien, and consigned to emergency defense duties in '08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the Commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties. You've been on this island for 43 years? No. He looks into the fire. A wisp of smoke rises from somewhere between the charred logs. I've been on other islands, too. I was on Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in '18. Then I was on E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was, he thinks, 22 years ago. Holy shit! How have you survived all this time? How does anyone survive? He looks at his worn running shoes. I steal. Now hold on there. What do you steal? Supplies, vegetables, he winces. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being. He coughs once more, then puts his hand on his belly. How is your health, Mr. Dross? I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. And passing it in stool, too. He does seem frail, gaunt for his age, more like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer. The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over. I need to die. The droll smile stretches across his mouth. You don't have medical facilities, you have guns. That's all they give you, toy guns. You also have druamine. Maybe if we offer him some painkillers, he might be more amenable? A light goes on in his eyes. He smacks his dry lips. I have been running out of that stuff. There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now. See where this takes us. You like that, Druamine, don't you? It's the little joys. A crooked smile appears on his face. A dark joke. A sunshiny day. Morphine. Oh, I guess we can't, give him any? I know we picked some up. This is a serious situation. You need to be looked over, and we can do it. There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine, moribund. How have you coped mentally? I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing, others filled with pain only. A decade of... His eyes roll into his skull and back. I don't even know what. Inferno? You notice the lieutenant is about to say something. I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation. Traitors. It's better alone. He nods towards Martinez. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on, more and more each year. Ruins glimmering in the dark like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting. He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere. What is this place, this island? Not an island, droid. He looks around. It's a defensive fortification of the Commune of Rebecol, and I am its last surviving defender. What was it used for? The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Rebecol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing, against the whole world. You mean the landing? Retaking of Revachol? Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. He winces. I later found out, on the radio, they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Kailu alone. First, I'm not one of them. Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me, who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow? Murderers. I know what you mean. You don't know. You haven't seen it. He shakes his head slowly. Iblis. Iblis? The black-eyed angel. He nods. You said you deserted your unit? I was just 16 years old, 15 when I was volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. He clears his throat. And of courage, too. Lapse of faith? You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socio-economics were fallible. For a second I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took. For what? For reaction to take hold. It wasn't reaction, you were just afraid. It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really, not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid. And this was when? The lieutenant instinctively looks to his notebook but does not take it out. May the 13th, '08, 44 years ago. He looks north. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling it was dark magic. Dark magic? The combined might of international capital, all at once, all the greed and terror in the world, tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower. He gestures toward it. Huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash, so I said I was going to the mat room. He looks east. Terrible shame, still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it, the shame and smallness of what he became. You didn't go to the map room. No, I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak, a mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring. He looks at the sky. What was that? Airships. I climbed out. He closes his eyes. Into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. He opens his eyes and stares right through you. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality. Mean what? Mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone. Everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. He's silent for a second. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know. What? That the bourgeois are not human. Let him finish. I had to fight it. I had to never stop. The old man falls silent. His black eyes keep piercing your skin as he looks to some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. You said this is your termless surrender? You're with the RCM. He waves in your general direction, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. We're not coalition appointed, we just try to help people. He stares at you coldly. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, Le Parti Communiste de Insuline. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldozed them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity. His hand shakes and he breaks into a coughing fit. A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit. So you're a communist soldier from the communist army? No, I am not a soldier. I'm an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army. But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps. Trained, he nods, in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something. That means you're a trained communist, right? He nods slowly, then another tremor. I've been hiding here for 43 years? 43 years and 10 months. That is... kind of insane? What do I say, though? I don't even know what that is. The length of my entire life, right? I mean, it's both of these. Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. I don't even know what that is. It's inhuman. It's sick. It's not how a human being should live, but I had to. He grimaces, clearly in pain. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw. What have you been doing during all this time? Hiding, fishing, waiting. He looks across the water. Where the afternoon grows late. On Rue de Saint-Gis Lane, people walk home. Streetlights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers. Men, women, children. Street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41. Always waiting. The old man turns his eyes from the shore and back to you. For what? For her to return. For who? Girl-child revolution. I come from there, point to the mainland. I can assure you that is not what the people are planning. I am not a fool. He blinks his black eyes. I know. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind. The historic opportunity for a revolution is past. It will not come back anymore. However hard I try, whatever I do. There is nothing serious in this world. He looks at the gun lying on the ground. It's a farce. One more time. What have you used the gun for? What have I used it for? He looks you dead in the eye. I've used it for killing people. Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too. Killing people? It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property? I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people. Interesting, the lieutenant nods. During or after the war? There is no after the war. He shakes his head and smiles, his teeth rotten black. Last war is never over. So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. Go in straight, no euphemisms, he doesn't like those. No, be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal. Oh man, all these conflicting thoughts in my head. Right? Wait, so which one do I say then? What the fuck is wrong with you guys in my head? Somebody, give me the right answer. So you're saying you've killed people after active fighting stopped? What did I just say? He keeps shaking his head erratically. Suddenly, he brushes something out of his eye. What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now. What did you just tell me? Go on, going straight, no euphemisms. He doesn't like those. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Krenel? What was the other one? Suggestion? I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two? I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer. And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Krenel? Who now? He leans in and cups his ear. He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire. A beautiful, strong man sent here by the Honorable Private Military Company Krenel. That seems like it would appeal to him. That seems just too generic. This seems... he doesn't care about the guy. He doesn't care about the personal details. I think, and this is obviously ridiculous. I think this is the one. The fascist death squad who took a bullet in the mouth on the night of March 4th. Oh yes, that one. He looks up the sky and clacks his tongue. Ugly piece of work, that boy. Did you kill him? The lieutenant takes a sudden step toward him. I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. He spits a big one at the lieutenant's feet. You do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime. Exhaust him with proof, pile it all on him, get a confession. The scent of blood is in the air, but what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks? Suddenly all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first. We've done the ballistics. The shot came from this island. I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead... fascists? I guess, is that like a plural of fascist or something? A jitter passes him. Did you like the view? You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top faller to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. The lieutenant softens his voice. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clearly need medical aid. I'm ready to die. The man interrupts him, then coughs. I've done my part. He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part. Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope. One thing, where's the scope? How did you make the shot without a scope? We have everything else. Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Find it yourself. It's your problem now. He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on. You said fascist. You're admitting you killed him. You're sad for your Fasca brother, aren't you? One twig got broken, now the other are sad. He waves his hand. There's a twitch. Then one more in his right eye. Come on, what am I forgetting? Hit yourself on the side of your head? You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him. Dude, we had that. Oh my god. I did not think that was going to be relevant at all. I wonder what his reaction to saying that would be, because that obviously sounds insane. And he's an ideologue, so maybe he would react to this pretty well? I don't know. Let's try it. You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him. Stupid droid, he scoffs. Lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eyes. Yeah, okay. It was intuition. Had he spoken, he would have said communism killed him. Yeah, I don't think either of this is gonna go well. Intuition is an aberrant psychologism? He chortles. It reeks of crypto-fascism. The parasite class use intuition to justify their rank in life. It's all just palmistry and magic Earl creatures. Your brain is rotting from the radio waves. He looks at the air, then turns to Kim. The lieutenant does not answer the provocation. It does not look like he thinks this approach worked. But still, somehow you knew it was communist. How? Perhaps you suspected it before you took the case. The vision was you remembering that. This did nothing. Was it supposed to? We'll look deeper then? The inland sea is dark, vast, and on the surface, meaningless. Strange. Standing there, slack-jawed, the old man shakes his head, brain festering. Okay, let's back off for a moment. Tell me this. That's still 17%. Composure, huh? Got 3 points. Could max out composure before trying that. See what one does. Still only 28%. It is a white check, so we could try it. I probably should have tried it and then done a level up and tried it. I could have tried it 3 times. Crap. We'll try it twice. Here we go. What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain or the cough or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild, he is surprisingly okay. Indeed, he speaks fluidly, his movements are rapid, if erratic, his voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated. Animated by what? It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost, too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes, cut off like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system. Dementia? You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even, not senile. Is it some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something. Not only the painkillers he's clearly on. Tedros, are you on some kind of a psychoactive substance? No! He snaps out of staring through you. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city. You said you take painkillers. The lieutenant follows your lead. I take them to cope with pain. The people of this city use painkillers because they have pain. Untreated illnesses, not enough money for a greedy doctor. Are you sure about him being lucid? Maybe he's just affected by an extreme case of socialism. Not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps. Are you on amphetamines? Like some kind of decadent rock star? He doesn't dignify it with more of an answer. Mr. Dross, are you okay? How is your memory? He waves his hand, chasing something that's not there. No, I'm not okay. I shit blood and I'm surrounded by insane people. There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled. Pick up the gun lying in the sand. His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand, frames stocked and patched in places with tape and wire. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm made of walnut. On the butt you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong 446mm, made in Xinyao. This uses jacketed ammunition, 446. The right type and the right caliber, the lieutenant nods, glancing at the gun. This is a Triangong made in Xinyao. No one said it has to be a Belle Margrave, the lieutenant does not take his eyes off the old man. We were just guessing. From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangong too. It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti, all it has to do is use jacketed ammunition, and it does. Oh man. Oh, pardon me. Stupid allergies. I hate springtime. The old man keeps following your motions with his gaze. His left arm twitches suddenly. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him later. Back to confession. I'm trying, man, I'm trying. One more time, Mr. Dross. The Colonel. We need to talk about you killing him. Petty bourgeois law. He snorts and spits. This is all you care about, right? The only thing in the world for you types. A drop of blood in the saliva. Tear into him again. Pile it on him. I don't need your cooperation. I've got this. Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there? It's a real gun. He points at the lieutenant's sidearm. Not like your musketeer pistols. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? He chortles. Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed. Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon. You know what? The lieutenant looks at the weapon demonstratively. You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? Dramatically ask? I'm not sure what tone that means. It's so weird. It also seems like a weird thing to ask the question right after saying, we have the murder weapon, point to it. And then Kim says, you're right, I'm convinced this made the shot, should we call it? And I say, you think we have the murder weapon? It was like, yes, I just said that. Why would I do this? This seems like a dumb thing to do. Let's do this. I'm calling it, we have the murder weapon. Good. The lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a single line. This feels good, doesn't it? Tying things up like this? When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer. Murder. The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds and then twitches once more. What am I forgetting? There's logic! Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clochier's roof. Oh yes! There were Maybells in the grass when you got here, and Maybells on Clochier's balcony. I knew it! When we got the smell thing as we were walking around here, that was what triggered in my memory as well, the flowers. Wait, don't forget the footprints, the diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clochier's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up. Of course, thank you, Head, thank you. You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul. Maybe don't beat yourself anymore though, you're not immortal. It didn't hurt. I still have full health. We're fine. Alright, let's go. Maybells, behind the victim's window. I saw them growing here. Damn Maybells. He looks at the blossoming field. The whole island is turning white with them. So many this year, too. Spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away. I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here. They blossom on the islets before. We fertilized them with our blood. He looks to the water. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it. South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers and white snow. The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with. You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. The lieutenant's voice is soft, friendly. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops? I may. A curious tremor passes his face. A young woman called Clochier. Ring any bells? Flowers like these were behind her window. Clochier. You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary. With the victim. He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaw twitch, spasm. There is a small tremble, looks like a smile, a crooked smile, yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst. Don't leave any loose ends, get him on everything. I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing. Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? He looks at his running shoes covered in mud. Some shit. Show me the soles, please, Mr. Dross. Fucking imbecile. The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his feet. The maker is called Sansarique. You see their V-shaped logo, but can't make out the size. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size. The size fits, but not the sole. The lieutenant comes to the same conclusion. Wait, maybe it's simpler than that? Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now. People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there, near the room the victim died in, sneaking around. Racking those brains, are you? He squints at you, black pearls gleaming with hatred. Desperate to report something back to your masters. They must have really loved that dead fuck. The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind, seagulls in the distance. He suddenly jerks to life. You know who he was? A coalition-trained murderer, armored and armed. He wasn't human, the blunt end of a hammer, dripping with blood. Oh, why does it do this on some of these? It cuts the response off. This isn't the first one I've had that happen. Because the soldier-to-soldier aspect seems like it might be a potential, line with this guy, but I don't know how it finishes. It could be bad. This is kind of encouraging his, like, him to keep going. Because we're just trying to draw the confession here. He was a rapist. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. Beating us to the ground, moaning with joy. He breathes in with strange animation. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. He looks you dead in the eye, pupils shaking. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement? Now you come to investigate? Not when they die by the hundreds? He breathes through flared nostrils. This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him. So you shot him? Oh, the inhumanity. He closes his black eyes. One paramilitary less in Revacol. You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger. The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath. I had them in my sights, both of them, him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. He begins to smile. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death and that stupid look on his face. The smile quivers, and his dick still in her. Then what? Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here, I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. So they did. The lieutenant just looks at him for 1, maybe 2 seconds, then breaks the silence. Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder? Yes. A single word is all he gives. The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very slowly. And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex? Through the scope of your rifle that night? Before you shot him? The old man nods. Why? Because that's what they were doing. He shrugs, then smacks his lips. The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from. I don't understand. He turns to you. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part. Why were you looking at them that night? I'm always looking. He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his left side, lower in intensity. Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? He explains. I'm just trying to understand. A rifle's scope has the best magnification. And if you don't like it... Click. You pull the trigger? Yes. He looks you in the eye. Think of it as a form of critique. Got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. Wonder if we can get both of these. What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder? Them fucking. He looks at the charred wood. I didn't like that. So you were jealous? Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted her to see his head explode. He nods. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. He squints. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her, but he shrugs. You can't have everything. How long had you been watching her? Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Feld building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving. Past the Feld building on the coast? What was she doing there? Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared. And beautiful. And beautiful. That too, he nods. How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark. The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on. Right there, he shakes his head. She needed it just to move. What do you think she hid there? Her passport and tickets to Villers. He coughs, and from there to Kasherbroom. In the free state of Semenine, hidden away at the edge of the earth near the Pale. This is the hidden boy she told us about. You looked into it? He nods. After she was gone. Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty. No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better. This implies that he's thought about extorting her. Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausier before. Would he not have seen it on the documents? You saw her name on the passport, but before, when I said her name is Clausier, you didn't seem to recognize it. It didn't say Clausier in there. He shakes his head. What did it say her name was, in the passport? It was something... He stutters. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I only remember her face on the photo. Moving on, did you continue watching her after this? I did. He almost smiles. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body, hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too, he nods. A spook, on the run. Reva calls the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here, to do drugs and have sex like animals. You could tell she was a spook from the documents? She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio. He's setting it up for you. The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope. And you could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle? You can't see bruises in a scope. It's just a blur. He shakes his silver gray head. How does he know those minute details about her body? This is a red check. It cannot be retried. How many points do I have right now? 4! Reaction speed? Let's get 1 in there at least. 83%. That's still almost 1 in 5 that we're losing it? Don't want to lose this one. This seems really important to get that motive. $92. God, please don't lose this. Don't do it to me. It quickly comes to you. The bruises on her body. Any chance you've seen them through a hole in a wall? Oh yes, he smacks his lips, cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife, masturbating. Everything in him fills with impossible longing all at once. Did you make that hole? With a clip point knife. Ever seen her through a window? On a roof? Like that too, yes, he nods, bending like a bow against the glass. You've been through the secret route behind the whirling in rags. Those were your footprints there. You just changed your shoes. I've been through all of Martinez, every nook and cranny. And that too. Yes, that too. He shakes his head almost in awe. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good, he explains. Funny, the way light works. You turn it on inside and it gets so dark out you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but he keeps shaking his head. Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen, a quick glance at you, then at the man. How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop. I can just walk in the hostel now, after a good wash. They all think I'm an antisocial, a vagrant. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty then. You had to open the steel door in the kitchen. How? I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago? He left spare keys all over and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope. He points toward the whirling in rags. And he found use for it. A spare key like the one hanging behind the union box window. Did you have feelings for that woman? He sighs. There's nothing to hold on to, only this. It's not enough. The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying? Man needs to feel something else. In this fight it helps if you have your eye on something there. He looks to the city. It's weakness, I know. Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window? No. He starts to shake his head again, a sunflower on a withered stalk. Why then? Don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room, on the floor, like she does sometimes. When was this? The day after I'd killed him. And you brought her Maybells? Yes. He looks at the charred logs. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore. You wanted to console her. Maybe. He lowers his head and just stares at the logs. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you. A sudden pang of rage. If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you. He wipes his eye. In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes and nods at you once more. So in conclusion, it wasn't about him. It was about her. Her, he repeats, staring at the ashes, then the reeds. There's a twitch in the corner of his eye. The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. The old man looks at you, suddenly remembering something. Where is she, that Glacier? I haven't seen her there for days. I wonder if there's no real reason to tell him that? Or would he, I don't know, would he like that she kind of figured out that he was there? Acknowledging his existence in some way? Let's try that one, I guess. She got away, but she let us hear first. She figured out someone was watching her from the seafort. Gone. He looks to the city and nods. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week, at the island, like she knew. He sighs. She'd look, at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right in me. He adds to no one in particular. Doesn't matter. Midtown, across the Bay of Rebecca, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lausanne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring encircled by hybrid aircraft. North. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghost of the city she's leaving, for another, far south. Smaller, distant, hidden. Not like the great chandeliers she sees sparkle in the spring air below her. Streets and towers, tenements and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins barely visible, if she didn't squint her eyes. He knew she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out, day by day, cigarette by cigarette. We could get more, the lieutenant uses the opportunity to tell you in a lowered voice. We've got him talking. Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this. I'm really interested in this story. We're going to get more if we can. Been looking at anything else you haven't liked? A tragic comedy. He shakes to life. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers. A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar put-put-put of hatred. More specifically? Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house, stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez? He shakes his head in grave disgust. Martinez is the worst. How come? Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world, listening to race-themed radio shows, in the ruins in their lorries. He points inland. Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revocol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of Social Democrat who runs it. Mr. Clare? Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square to spit on the working class. Anything more? Not since the source of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revocol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. Intense, like animals. He points to the church. Like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. He keeps shaking his head with sorrow for the sight he missed. That all? The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrian on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. Though actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins, too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon or Croyant Moraine, or some other island they've built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want, sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frizzle is now dead. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores. What follows is ominous mumbling. You cannot make out a single word. The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue, and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating. You mentioned the Union is social democratic, and Mr. Clare a farce of a social democrat. Another hideous disappointment, he pokes at the ash. Unions are the real enemy, the true enemy of the proletariat, placating the masses. Disappointment, so personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass. Who's a disappointment, Everard Clare? That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean the brains of the operation, the smart one. Edgar! You mean Edgar, Everard's brother. The old man chortles with a nod. He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university in Les Jardins, where it's alienation this and hegemony that. You've talked to Edgar? First against the wall with him. He stopped poking at the ash now, just shakes his head. Oh. First against the wall with him. Like, to be shot? The Claires wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard, not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing. Of course, maybe the Claires asked him to. Mr. Dross, did you kill the Krenel mercenary for the Claires to incite a riot? You know why I killed that fucker, droid. He shakes his head. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again. Again? What have you done for Edgar before? Tried teaching him some Mazovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways. Coughs. Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something. What was the deal between him and Edgar? Wow, only 28% on this? Is that... wait, hold up. Is that a red check? Yes. This is logic. Okay, just making sure. Let's put 2. Alright, we got a shot on this. What was the deal between him and Edgar? Damn. Oh no, the connection doesn't come to you. On such a pivotal moment. Dumbo, do something. You can't zone out now. This isn't Doodaloo dance time. Slap yourself in the head again. Jumpstart it. Something with the Union, boss. Officer! The lieutenant watches you beat yourself in the head. Again, the second time in this interview. He quickly realizes what is happening. Mr. Dross, about this deal you made. He turns to him. With Edgar. The death of the Krenel mercenary was only coincidentally beneficial to the Claires, but... He leans closer. What about the other people you've killed for them? Other people? Like the previous forewoman of the Union. That's it! That's what you weren't connecting yourself. He wags a finger at him. I didn't fight 40 years to end up an informant for the international regime. What happened, happened. Still dumb, your eyes are transfixed on his digit. It's yellow with nicotine. Before, when you asked him about the Union, he said it was a disappointment. They promised him something political. They promised political change, and they didn't deliver. Look who's up, he scoffs. You're worse off than me. We will have plenty of time to talk about this, Mr. Dross. He does not let him gloat. When you're in pre-detention, it takes years in pre-detention. Go ahead, the straggler closes his gap-toothed smile. I've been in solitary confinement my whole life. Ease off it. This was not an unmitigated disaster. The lieutenant mitigated it. Just proceed calmly. There was something about the statue on the roundabout. And syphilis? Syphilis is a disease Philippe II contracted in a whorehouse. He fires quickly. The statue is an abomination. Abomination? The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainium, and monuments of himself. His son, Philippe III, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb. He breathes in with a wheeze of hatred. That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic, he was just mad. And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government, and those grotesque statues too, hundreds of them, but it's still there. What a keen remark, he sputters. Yes it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why? Because you forgot to take it down. I don't know. I do. Some advertising cockroaches used their accumulated capital to erect a new, ironic version of it. We tore it down with honest working-class plastic explosives, but there it is again, grinning. He shakes his head in disgust. Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be bulldozed, and the artists should all be given 30 years of hard labor in Yekokata. I'm glad we talked about this. Now, Vlad? All gone. He stares into the dust at his feet. Gray and dirty spring grass all around. Yosef Lilianovich Dros, you're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtenaire. What? The old man's eyes fill with sudden, unexpected terror at the words. But you said I would be taken to the... The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation. Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on this scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand? But... Do you understand, sir? No, I don't want to. I have to stay here. He looks at the reeds, eyes submerged in growing terror. He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too, eyes getting blacker and blacker. Your confirmation is not required, sir. The lieutenant turns to you now. Now, onto the boat. Hearing? First say, does it have room for 3? Not really. He shakes his head. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here, but then who watches him while you're coming back here? Who watches him there while I come back for you? You come back for me? How about I go and send a boat back for you? What is this? Farce? He looks around with strange desperation. This is a fucking farce. I can't... Lillian, you could ask her, maybe? Fuck. Nothing is happening here. Perception. I got 1 point left, huh? Where are you? Oh god, chat. Oh god. I wonder if finishing this might get us a bonus for that? I don't know. Maybe I can just ask that netpicker to watch him? This is no harmless old man. The lieutenant shakes his head. This fucking world. He stares at something, who knows what, in the dust. This world. What is this? Below the confusion and rage, a fit of jamais vu like yours? The thought passes. More pressing matters take its place. No, listen. Listen now. Okay, so we got a bit of a boost there. That's what I was hoping. Alright, I think this is as good as we're going to get. Perception is trying to tell us that this is our shot. There it is again, to your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other, but then, in the middle of it, what? Something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin made of reeds and rushes. And then it's gone, drowned out by the lieutenant's voice. Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. Shush, Kim, do you hear that? What? What are you talking about? Is this... The old man's voice drowns in a sudden gust of wind. Really us? Your skin crawls. God, it's that thing. It's real? delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its side-like arms in ghostly silence. The phasmid. What is that? The old man looks at the reeds, then at you. What are you talking about? Giant bug, watch out! He looks confused. There's nothing there. The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster, but you don't have a gun. Have I lost it? Am I losing my mind? There is! I see it! You what exactly? A bug? He does not understand. Him, can you see it? I can see it. 4 simple words. Thank God. If he can see it, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender. Be very, very careful, the lieutenant whispers, then takes a step toward the giant arthropod. Go to it carefully. It may be dangerous. Okay, we're gonna walk. Slowly. Okay. It's backed off a bit. Can I interact with it yet? I don't want to do this if I'm like gonna take another 400 steps. The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Listen carefully. Tick, tick, tick. Tick, tick, tick.
I have absolutely no idea.
The lieutenant whispers back. You hear the familiar ring of his jacket unzipping, slowly, painstakingly so. You glance over your shoulder. The man holds a piece of milled aluminum. He begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera. Are you sure you won't scare it off?
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
Continues to pull the lens open. From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the insect's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear. I am not palatable. Do not eat me. I am afraid. Oh. We let him try and take the picture? Or is he gonna get killed? I don't want Kim to die. Hey Xanagir, not watching, just lurking. Thanks for the lurk, dude. Yeah, you don't want to be here for this part. It's afraid. Stop now.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
Please don't die. He has stopped fiddling with the camera, but does not put it down. You see the insect turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden. Who cares what they think, Kim?
Understood. Of course.
He comes to, abruptly. Understood. Of course, he says with a nod. The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air slowly. Say something to the insect quietly, like, you exist. A sudden chirrup fills the air. The walking stick moves its whole body, limbs working independently of each other, like the parts of a masterfully constructed machine. Something in its body language has changed, just slightly.
We can't just leave it standing there. We have to do something, detective. It could be connected somehow, you know.
No way I'm gonna... Do I have any more points? Oh, I don't. Is this one of those things that maybe you always pass? I hope. We'll see. Didn't think so. You barely get to take one step. The invertebrate reacts with uncanny speed, skating away across the water. It's gone, like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but rings on the sea's calm mirror. It's blending into the tufts of reeds in the distance, moving from islet to islet. Where did it go? The lieutenant has the camera in one hand and a slip of white paper in the other, developing. What in the name of God was that? Stick insect of some sort, pretending to be the reeds. He shakes his head. Has it been there all the time? Someone must have known about it, though. Maybe there's some secret to approaching it? I have no idea. I've never heard of a species like that. Tell me you got the picture. He shakes his head. In silence, an expression on his face that you've never seen before. It's just a blur, he says, looking at the slip of paper in his hand. What now? What now? The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand into the ash. It's dirty and black. Oh no. There's a pistol in there, isn't there? Our suspect's not looking so good. We should check him over. Also, he points to the reeds. It looks like it has some kind of nest there. Maybe there's proof in there. In the reeds, where the phasmid was hiding, you see a little flash of white. Porcelain white. The armor? Yep. There's the helmet. There's the rifle scope. Lassia's passport. So, if we had not noticed this thing, would we never have been able to get those? Oh, that was the rifle that we got from him. Okay, and there's the rifle scope. We look at her passport. Will that give us anything more? This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of Orange, is issued to a black-haired woman called Katarzyna Alasij? Lachey's hidden documents. The lieutenant looks at it in your hands. From the empty boy. Look at the photo. It's Clache, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow. What was this doing in the Phasmid's nest? Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Clache's, or whatever her name was, hiding place? Or... No. Perhaps for some blackmailing plan? Perhaps, but that still doesn't explain how it got into the nest. I think the Phasmid took it. Like a magpie? He looks around. What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other objects, which would be highly unusual. I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. In the scope, maybe Mr. Dross lost it, but to seek out this would be very unusual behavior for an arthropod. It says Katarzyna Alasij. He opens his notes. She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Schmidt. Anouk Meyer-Schmidt. Katarzyna Alasij was supposed to be her real name. Where Clache comes. Remember? God damn it. Wait, what? Katarzyna was supposed to be her real name. Oh, like you combine these two? Clache or something like that? Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us one more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now. The lieutenant smiles. What's her real name then? I don't know. But it's not Katarzyna Alasij, or Clache, or Anouk Meyer-Schmidt. We didn't even scratch the surface with her, detective. He looks east. Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what hell she'd be raising in my district by now. The winds are silent. The streets are empty of her. She is no longer in the city of Revachol. Interesting. That was a cool little side thing there. So, what do now? Phasmid's gone. Check up on the deserter now.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now. Sir, how could you not see the Phasmid? See. He stares at the reeds and falls silent. Mr. Dross? The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, his gap-toothed mouth shaking, like an addict of some terrible substance. The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes the man. Other than that, no reaction. He feels small and frail. It's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The lieutenant inspects him gently. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross? The trembling mouth appears to sigh. Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid. What has happened to this man? Old age and shock. He looks at him, then you. I think it's the phasmid. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. He looks at you. But you think it's something more than that, don't you? Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now. Think he's addicted to that thing? He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just the reeds for him. That could be part of the shock, but you're right. Something is off here. Mr. Dross, he touches the man's shoulder. No response. Before, when I evaluated his state, he seemed strangely animated. He nods. He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse. Perhaps this animation is induced by something in the phasmid? He does not seem to be animated now once it's left. He looks to the sea. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe it is psychoactive. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall. He takes off his glasses and cleans them. When he puts them back on, he's still staring at the sea. I think he's addicted to that thing. Like a drug? He has displayed addict behavior, and not just to painkillers. His pupils appeared to be dilated. They still are. He examines the catatonic man's eyes. He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it in its company? He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe. He looks at his notebook. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all this. He shakes his head. This will be one hell of a report. They'll think we're insane. You will have to be very convincing and very sober to make them believe, sire. We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross. He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should... show him the passport? No reaction. His breathing is slow and he appears very old all of a sudden, around 80. Did you take this passport and other papers from a boy on the coast? He blinks and continues to stare at the reeds. The spirit. He hears us. The spirit? No reply. He's gone again. Try something else? We got him back for a moment. Show him the helmet. Nothing. Just dull staring. Not even rage left wherever he is. The last embers have gone out. The war is over. If Kuno kicked it into the sea as he said he did, the ebb would pull it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up, or the phasmid even? If it did, this is incredible. Show him the scope. He turns his eyes to it. I lost. You lost it, Mr. Dross? He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes. He lost the scope, then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid, the lieutenant observes lens sparkle in your hand. This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot? Silence, not even a sigh. I'm going to let you rest now, Mr. Dross. The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal. The strength has all gone out of him. Just frail old bones and a sack of tracksuit trousers and a windbreaker. Hang tight. We should think about getting back to the mainland to get help. He'll be safe here if we don't take too long. Weird. What a story, man. I wonder if this would have given us any sort of bonuses if we had chosen to rest before going out. So many paths you could take in this game. Skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock. Let's return to the mainland. Let's. We're done here, he says, adjusting his glasses as he looks out over the water. The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland, waiting for you. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff. Oh no, is this an intervention? The tide brought in, says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly his expression changes and he tilts his head.
Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags, but where are his sunglasses? These are clearly guys from my unit, right? If I lead with this, they're gonna think I'm insane. This seems bad. This makes it look like we don't know who they are. I guess this one? No one else seems bothered by the bleeding.
Bothered by it? Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Oh, god damn it. It's gonna make me do all of these? Alright. You're the man with sunglasses.
That's right. And you're bleeding.
Forget about all this. There's a giant...
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heidelstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicmar, and this is your special task force, or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heidelstein, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We have come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kimki Soragi, Precinct 57. We've just come from the island where our investigation led us.
Scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
He adds, suddenly regaining his confidence. As if he recalled that he's, in fact, a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Gotta have my back? Let's destroy them? Way to feed me to the wolves. Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
She says warmly, flashing Kim the tiniest of smiles. Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you. What is this about?
Harry, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to catch the bullets. Shit kid, what an interesting moniker. Weirding me out. What's a shit kid? You, shit kid, that's you. Maybe you've deserved it? How did you know I was here? The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went. But I didn't, I paid him off. For damages and for my stay. I understand. Okay, Gart told you. And she looks around. People on the street helped us too, with your whereabouts. You aren't the man with sunglasses at all. You're not even blonde. Guilty as charged. He exchanges a look with the special consultant. I heard you lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on. He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was. Okay, I had that coming. And what coming? Not recognizing people you work with every day. He squints. Brain damage? You mentioned a task force? Yeah, Major Crimes Unit under Lieutenant Dubois and Vickermer. I didn't hear how he said his name before. Ring any bells? Refresh my memory. Who else is in this? Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Trant, fucking Heidelstone, and Guillaume Bevy. He stares at you. I'm technically just a civilian advisor. Fuck you, you're part of this shit show. Okay, so what does the unit do? It's a Major Crimes Unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We're shit tier now, Harry, because of you. The 41st isn't... He trails off, not wishing to finish the sentence. Where have you been all this time? There was a mercenary tribunal. God damn it, Harry. He shifts his weight, crosses his arms, and looks you in the eye. You told us to fuck off! You said we're cramping your style. You're detective god. Fuck everything. All will burn. Detect or die. I said all those things? I'm not like that anymore. Are you sure? He squints at you. So you haven't been telling everyone what a boring cop you are, and that you should kill yourself? People say you've been out of your mind. I asked around. None of this is ringing any bells. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trent, he turns to the blonde. This is where you come in. How bad is it? Well, he doesn't have visible tremors. He talks without slurring. He can drive a boat. He's standing, reasoning. All good signs. But complete retrograde amnesia is episodic and semantic? Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola, pale, and so on. Treat for Daisy? I haven't seen Daisy all morning. Dot is asleep in the chair over there. We'll try and get her a treat in a little bit. We'll see if she shows up. But thank you, Yulifar. Whoops, hang on, I skipped that. As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, he makes air quotes, but also mine with him before, when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting. Interesting? Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry turns to you. What do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not, socioeconomically? You think I'm so poor I lost my memory? I am a highly experimental detective, and this was a method I used to solve the case. Something so sad happened to me that I couldn't be me anymore. It was a defense mechanism. That could be it? Part of it? Like, I feel it was like 5 and 2 combined. Because we were abandoned by the woman we loved? Possibly because of number 2. I'm gonna go with just straight number 2. That seems like the one we have the most evidence for. I drank so much I lost my memory, and I'm now slowly recovering it. He is. He's getting better, and I can confirm that he drank a lot of alcohol prior to it happening. I believe he drank. He turns to you. People do that, especially this one. What they don't do is forget their whole life because of drinking. But Detective Vikmar, she interjects, he has blanked out before. I have? Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. She pauses, remembering. One was after the 2 drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural. Interesting. So, at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak. What do you mean? Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all, something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. He gestures toward the scenery. Look at the ruins, the neon, listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape. To borrow a known metaphor, Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He nods confidently. He just needed for it to end. Okay, Trance, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the Major Crimes Unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that. He is not a cretin, and he is able to do work, if not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective. Sure, line detective is good for now. For now? He looks at you, then Trant. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the potty, or do we need to get him on a disability pension? What now? Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. Just stand there. Yeah, just stand there. It's cool. Really? No, now we discuss that. He points to the water. What the fuck did you do to our motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry? Oh, that. Yeah, we kinda crashed the car to the ice? I drove it into the ocean when I was drunk. I thought the killer would be underwater. so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of everyone's payslip. Doesn't matter. He exhales to calm his breathing. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge. Got my badge right here. In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand. Oh, come on. Give me this one. Just give me this one. Can I look cool in front of the guys? Just give me this one time. Fuck. You juggle the badge for a second, unsuccessfully, and it lands on the ground some 2 meters away. Yoink. Ouch. You strained your elbow trying to catch that stupid thing, damn it. He found it. The patrol officer picks it up and gives it back to you, slippery and cold. He found it, Gene. It's his badge. The man stares at you, unimpressed. And your gun? About gun. As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements. I may have pawned it. Anyway, it's gone now. Yeah, I checked the local pawn shop. You sold the pawnbroker a Villiers 9mm pistol to pay for booze. It worked too, didn't it? You're drunk right now, aren't you? You fucking bum. I can smell it all the way over here. I have not been drinking since Sunday. So no, I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk. I haven't started drinking again. So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then? He's wounded. He looks at you. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse. Well, look who's here. Look who decided to show up for stream this morning. It's Daisy. Hey, everybody, it's me, Daisy. I came for my treat from Eulifar. Alright, guess what, these dukes? Guess what, Daisy? Eulifar got you a treat. We interrupt this game to bring you... Whoops! No, that was the wrong button. Sorry about that. To bring you an adorable kitten McNugget getting a treat. Say thanks, Eulifar. We now return to your regularly scheduled game. None of this matters. My odor situation? It's meaningless compared to what I've discovered. What you've discovered? You let the suspect escape a certain Classier because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk. We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuragi's. We know. Not taking her in was the right thing to do. She gave a vital clue that led us to the island. Oh, well, if she was nice. He rubs his face in frustration. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, who also escaped. Yeah, Ruby something? Or the fact that you're Everard Claire's little peone now? Doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 8 people who were gunned down. The streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder. He did everything he could, the lieutenant interrupts him. We did everything we could. The company hired unvetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals. He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot, not once, but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. See, I don't want to try and justify this shit to these guys. I mean, we were clearly a terrible person prior to all of this stuff. Yes, what he said. Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. He brushes a stray strand of hair out of his eye and coughs. You spent the week with him on this case. What is your take? On the case? On Lieutenant Gefreder Dubois. Well, he pulls up his collar. The drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge, that's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week. That's right. See? 1 week. Then there's the boring cop issue. Despite all the obvious and almost grotesque mannerisms and sartorial choices, he still insists he isn't characteristic enough. It's just strange. Especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a true blue moralist, a man of the center, not prone to political outbursts, which is commendable, but also at odds with his behavior. Odder still, he is also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always, he pinches the root of his nose, on the grind. How he reconciles these 2 points of view, I do not know, but he is vocal about both of them. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the constant smoking everywhere all the time. He breathes in sharply. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I've seen in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him anything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped working on the case. He is tireless, madly driven. And he solved it, near perfectly. In 1 week we have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the Revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. He pauses. Oh, and he also discovered a new species. New species? A colossal stick insect, 3 meters tall. It's on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from them. I did not, unfortunately, get a photo, but I believe it may have been the Insulindian phasmid. I know this sounds fantastic, but I'm a 4 times decorated lieutenant of the RCM. I do not make up encounters with cryptids to spice up my day. I am very, very sane. I don't doubt you, Lieutenant. If you say it was the Insulindian phasmid, then it was the Insulindian phasmid. Boom shakalaka! What a terrible thing to say right now. It's incredible, but it was real. He pays you no heed. Lieutenant, is it the found... Wait. Bad translation here? What is this? Is it somehow connected to the case? Detective? Detective, he turns to you. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I believe the pheromone it emits may be responsible for the killer's mental degradation. The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic. So it is connected. Wait, wrong person. So it is connected. We could order a search. I could get people from Epis on the island, entomologists, doctors. There must be signs of it in the reeds. If we found the Insulindian phasmid, well, that would be absolutely exceptional. The PR value alone. There. You need to make your case. Now, the floor is all yours. He prepared it well. Oh, am I getting to do all of this stuff? We'll start with the killer, I think. The killer, Lilianovich Dross. We have a strong motive for him. Lilianovich? The special consultant raises an eyebrow. A revolutionary matronym. A revolutionary matronym? The custom started in Grod, where they have patronyms, Krasovich, Larsovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lillian. He's Lillian's son, Lilyanovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Rebekal. So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called. Thank you, Trond. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. He turns to you. You said you have a motive? Of course, excuse me. I just thought it was noteworthy. He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him. He killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy. Jealousy? I thought this Lilyanovich was an old man, to have been hiding for 50 years. 70-something? A strange sexual fixation, aggravated, possibly, by proximity to the phasmid and its chemicals. He himself gave a political reason, said he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to. Clean win. Oh, it's way more than that. It's my masterpiece. They'll teach this in cop school. I did all I could. Every second was a struggle. I've never doubted you could pull yourself together and work, in bouts. Bouts don't last. He buttons his jacket. I can still smell the booze on the wind. God damn it, doesn't it ever leave? It is there, like in your bones or something. It will pass, in time. Wee! Hey kitty, welcome! I think we are just finishing up the story here. It has been really, really good. Great to see you this morning. Hope you're doing well. Also, the phasmid was female. The reeds are its nest. Female? What makes you think so? You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female, and the nesting behavior too, I think. Incredible. Were there eggs in there? Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though. He turns to you. It had gathered items in its nest, a helmet, a scope, and a passport. Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates. Could have been male, actually. It must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs. He trails off, lost in thought. It had mandibles that looked like hair, and it was completely white on the inside. Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs. Incredible, he repeats, turning to Beekmare. It's a toughie that you don't have a photo. This would look very, very flashy in the papers. None of it says vigilante murderers to me at all. Great PR. I tried to, but I only got a blur. We can still work Cop discovers new species in there. I know a good guy in La Majeste, but only after the École Supérieure people find it. This cannot be done by fringe people. It needs to be white coats and glassware for this fly. We need professionals. He looks at the reeds. In the mist-colored distance over the water, nothing moves. No trace of it. You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still. Quit while you're ahead, or no? You're doing good. That's great to see. About to get back on Animal Crossing and make a graveyard. Ian will be the first in the yard. Oh no. Kitty's gonna start murdering people. Do we know this for sure? I don't know if we got that confessed to for sure. He was kind of vague on that one. Let's try it. Previous head of the Debardurus Union was assassinated by our killer. The lieutenant lowers his voice just a little. This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez, where Everard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere. And eyes too. Your return from the island must not have gone unnoticed. Understood, of course. The consultant, too, has lowered his voice. I would prefer not partake in anything Union-related, for political neutrality. This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention. I also looked into the mystery of the Doomed commercial area. He shrugs. I don't know what the Doomed commercial area is. The Rue de Saint Ghislaine 10, a commercial building where all businesses go bankrupt. I looked into it. Why? That's not what you were supposed to do here. There was a possible witness in there, and it was close to the crime scene. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper. It was okay. Of course, she turns to Vicmar. Call it community outreach, right? Dodged the bullet there. For a moment, it seemed like you were just wasting time. So what do you say? Want to take this hot shit back? I don't want to, but you discovered a new species, and solved the murder. He shrugs. So I have to, Jude? A quick nod. Anything that ends the trial is okay with me. Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go. Okay, he sighs. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go. I'm not gonna... No, I'm not doing that. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not going to do this, because when we left the body, it said he may... Or, not the body. The suspect. It said, as long as we don't take too much time. So I think asking all of these questions might be a bad thing. In terms of catching him. Like, maybe the Phasmid has a chance to come back and he can leave? Or something? Oh, wait, no. End. Oh, so maybe this is our last opportunity. I think this is end game right here. I think let's take advantage of all this. Who am I? Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry. What? Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but before. Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. She looks around. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe... It does explain a lot. Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair, the collection of fallen sportswear I've amassed. Some of your more old-school wording choices, your posture even, the constant stretches. The raw, robust stamina output. Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy. Why did I join the RCM then? The regular... You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are, all that. You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on, the air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries and incredible hope, an ocean full of hope. Yeah, that was the one that left us after we turned into a alcoholic. Okay, I see now. I kind of want to know the answer to this one. Okay, am I a dirty cop working for La Puta Madre? No. Okay then. Good. That's all I wanted. Just... Good. Talks concluded, she hugs herself from warmth. I just want one last thing. Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now? Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all this. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain. About what? He pulls up his collar and looks around, the cold spring light reflected in the lenses of his glasses. Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate. Distant traffic. A scrap of newspaper drifts by, carried by the wind. Want to do that at Station 41? Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering. No, I meant investigate. Come work in Precinct 41. Work with Price? A crooked smile quivers on his lips. I'm flattered, but I don't know if I... This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss. Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered. The man turns very serious all of a sudden. I would have to tie things up in GRIH first, but, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor. And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant, she says with a smile. Piles that we need to get back to, mountains even. I do like the sound of that, he returns her smile. He's really considering it. Alright. I'm ready. Good. She looks at you, then Vikmar. Fuck it, let's go. The man points down the street. Trent brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock. Under the noonday sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls in chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41 to Boogie Street forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. En route to Saint Jerome, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Orson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Idleston? No. Vikmar? Yes. Dubois? Yes. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing, Captain Ptolemy Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in the office and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the RCM. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minot? Of course. Wonderful. The woman looks north. Then, can we please just go back to Jamrock now? Dude, what a story. What's this game about? It was about solving a murder, Kitty. But that murder had so many twists and turns over the many, many hours that I spent with this game. It is the best written game I have ever played, bar none. Yeah, easily. The writing in this is so good. Man, that was awesome. I wonder how many different endings there are to this. But wow, that was really cool. This is one of those games that I'm sad I can't play again for the first time. This music is loud. Maybe just turn your speakers down. It's not hitting like red on my desktop audio or anything like that. But maybe compared to my voice it's loud? I don't know. It looks like we're about the same. But it's good music to end to, yeah. I wonder if there's like a post-credit scene or anything. I'm gonna let these credits roll. These guys deserve all the recognition. Compared to your voice, it is loud for me? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I can drop it a little bit. Hopefully that... Thanks, Ulafar. Hopefully that dropped the music a little bit for you. Easy. How you doing, Squeaky Butt? We solved the case. We had Daisy luck at some key moments in this case. She definitely helped for sure. She got us some key stat checks that we probably would have missed otherwise. Because my luck is terrible. Man, I hope these guys do another narrative RPG. This was so good. They're like a, this is their debut game, and they just knocked it out of the park. Everything about it. I hope they do another one. Oh, did Chris maybe he was like an writer? He didn't write on this, or maybe he did some writing? Chris Avalon does a lot of good writing for a lot of RPGs. What awesome work. Come on. Give me post-credit scene. Do it. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, man. Well, guys, we finally finished it. I am not 100% certain what I'm going to be starting tomorrow. I think it's going to be Spider-Man PS4. I got an internal capture card on this new machine. I just need to do some testing with that later today to make sure that everything works properly, but I think I'm going to be starting Spider-Man on PS4, and I have all the DLC too. I got the Game of the Year edition sometime earlier this year when it was on sale, so I've been really looking forward to playing it. So that's what we'll be starting tomorrow, barring everything going well with the capture card and all that stuff. So hopefully I will see you guys back here tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I hope you enjoyed our playthrough of Disco Elysium. I certainly did. I thought the story was absolutely amazing, and I'm probably going to come back to this at some point years from now once I've forgotten all the details about it and try and see if we discover anything new in this game. But yeah, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning with, hopefully, Spider-Man on the PS4. Have a great one, everybody. Bye.